Hi. If you're watching this, it means you're on the internet. And if you're on the internet, it means you're probably scared. And that's okay. I'm scared too. It's a scary time. Um, it's natural. Humans are scared of what they don't understand. We're scared of uncertainty. And right now, all there is uncertainty and some math. And a lot of people freaking the fuck out. And rightfully so. But, you're going to be okay. I promise. We're all going to be okay. In a year, everything's going to be back roughly the way it is now. It's not to say it's not going to be a really fucking weird year, but you'll be fine. I'm going to talk about the markets. But before I do, I would say, you don't have to watch this video. I posted another video with a joke about bestiality. Maybe go watch that and then take a nap and then read a book and stay off the fucking internet and chill out for a day. Because, you're not going to learn anything new. Everything's going to be the same tomorrow. But if you're interested, I'm going to talk about the markets for a few minutes. So I'm going to paint with kind of a broad brush. I did a video about this a couple days ago saying roughly what I'm going to say today, except it was 30 minutes long and very technical. And so I'm going to try to make this as accessible and easy and compact as possible. So some nuances might get missed, but roughly this is all true. I want to talk for a minute about the financial markets, what happened in 2008, what's happening now, how they're the same, how they're different, how the government's reacting then and now, and how I think what they're doing now, while important, is maybe insufficient. And then I have a potential solution to all of our problems. So in 2008, a bunch of elite institutions, bankers, banks, hedge funds, they all bet that the price of housing was going to go up. They borrowed a lot of money to do it. When the price of houses dropped, they had to pay back all the loans that they borrowed to bet on that, and nobody had the money to do that because all of their bets turned out to be worthless. The government stepped in. They guaranteed a lot of loans. They gave a lot of people money and basically said, hey, pay off who you have to pay off and catch us next payday. And it was fine. And it was a top of the market problem, mostly. It was banks and hedge funds that owned each other money, and it was going to trickle down and cause a lot of problems for the rest of us. But for the most part, the housing crisis, but the drop in housing prices would not have fucked all of us. It just kind of fucked the banks and the hedge funds, which would have eventually fucked all of us. So now it's 12 years later, and interest rates have been historically low for those years. These banks, hedge funds, have been borrowing money to bet on the stock market. Instead of borrowing money to bet on housing prices, they've been borrowing money and betting on the stock market, which has been artificially inflating the stock market, which is why the prices have kept going up, and it's looked like we've been in an economic boom time. So a correction was probably coming for a while, and then coronavirus happened, and the markets freaked out a little bit. So markets started to slide because they were pricing in the fact that the economy is going to slow down because we're all going to hide in our houses and stop going to work. That meant that the people who borrowed all this money had to sell stock and unwind their trades because they needed to sell what they owned to pay back these other people. When they started to sell, that drove the price down further, and then more people who had borrowed money to borrow stock, to buy stock, also had to sell to pay back the people they had to pay back. Anyway, so this whole thing started to spiral out. So the Fed did what they did last time during the 2008 financial crisis. They stepped in, they dropped interest rates to zero to let banks loan money to try to get people to try to inject some money into the economy so that these people at the top, this is still a top problem, it's not you and me, these people at the top could kind of settle what they had to settle without running out of money and everybody going bankrupt. Along with that, airlines have tanked because everybody knows nobody's going to fly for the next 6 months. So they're just your revenue is zero. So they're talking about bailing out the airlines, which makes sense. The difference between 2008 and now is it's not just a top of the market issue. So it is It both times it was a top of the market issue, and they've kind of sorted that out to the best they can this time. They're probably going to bail out the airlines with guaranteed loans, pick and choose some industries to give zero interest loans to just kind of bridge them, or low interest loans to bridge them over the next 6 months. Because everybody knows 6 months to a year from now, everything's going to be back to normal. We're all going to be flying again. Like, it's not going to be Mad Max times. Like, we're all just going to weather this, and then the economy's going to start working. It's just, we have to put the economy on hold. So what they're going to do for the airlines is they're going to take a bunch of government money, and they're going to fucking give it to the airlines, and they're going to say, catch us when you catch us. Like, pay us back when you can. Great. The problem is, the economy is also stopping. What's happening to the airlines is happening to everyone else. Every Uber driver, Lyft driver, bartender, restaurant, bakery, birthday clown, fucking everybody is out of business for 6 months. And again, in 6 months, people are going to start having birthday parties again. That birthday clown's going to be back to business, but right now, he's got nothing to do. Same with the restaurants, same with the Lyft drivers. Like, everything is going to stop. And I don't think that the government is going to bail us out. Unfortunately, that's what they need to do. The solution is really simple. I think that they're going to pick and choose some big industries, and they just started talking the last couple days about direct payments to Americans. What that means is they're literally just going to send you cash. The problem with that is they're going to send a fixed amount to every American, and the numbers, Mitt Romney was pitching $1,000. I heard some Democrats in the Senate apparently were talking upwards of $4,500. $4,500 is not nearly enough. They missed the mark by 10 times. Like, you need to send 10,000, 45,000, like large sums of money. You have to understand that not everyone makes the same amount of money. Not every business makes the same amount of money. And they're giving this money away, which actually I'm not morally opposed to, but I think that there's a way better solution. So instead of selectively bailing out industries and bridge loaning them, I think what they should do is give loans to every American and every American business. They can do this in a really fair and reasonable way because they have everyone's tax returns. They know what everyone made last year. They know what everyone made for the last 3 years. So what they should do is look at what everyone made last year, divide it by 12. So that means that you have an average of what everyone made per month, right? So that's a monthly amount that everyone made last year. And presumably you survived last year, both you and your business. So what do they do this year? They take the amount that they take 1/12 of what you made last year, and every month they fucking send it to you in a check or put it in your bank account and say, anybody that wants it gets this loan at 3% interest. It's a 10-year loan. So every month you get what you made last year, and do whatever the fuck you want with it. If you're a business, pay your rent. If you're a person, pay your rent. Buy food. And then, on the tail end of this, when the economy picks back up, pay us back. And it's really easy to get people to pay back because everyone pays their taxes. So it'll just get taken out of your paycheck or taken out of the taxes. It just gets added back in. Also, what's great, it's egalitarian. Delta and United get the exact same bailout that every single American gets, which is a super reasonable way to do it. Because maybe some people are going to do dumb shit with this money, like buy big screen TVs, but that's okay. That'll kickstart the economy. And I think most people will be super reasonable about it, not borrow more than they need, and they have 10 years to pay it back at practically no interest. So I'm not really concerned about the viability of these loans long term. Also, the best part of this, it's not a money giveaway, it's a loan, and the government will probably get most of its money back, if not make some money on the deal, which is awesome because I think basic income, while a good idea, is just politically untenable. I think eventually we'll get there, but I think we're not there yet. Great. So the other awesome thing is, because Delta and United are going to get the same goddamn bailout and they're going to be paying 3% interest on $100 million loans, you can take the interest payments from the larger loans, the more successful people, and you can help subsidize the lower loans. Like if someone made $10,000 last year and you loaned them $4,000, like maybe we kind of take that interest payment and we kind of help them pay off their loans so they pay less. Like that's just humane, because they're also going to suffer the worst of this more than the rest of us, right? If we're W-2 workers or technology workers, or we're not bartenders or we're not Walmart greeters. Like, we're going to do a lot better than those people are going to do. We probably have better health care. We probably have more money in savings. We probably have a 401k plan that we could withdraw money from if that's one of the ways that they go. But like, those things disproportionately help rich people, and this is a thing that would help everyone equally and probably disproportionately help the people that need it the most. So I think it's super reasonable. I don't think there's any way it's going to happen. Unfortunately, I think this is going to be a very selective big business bailout, and everybody's going to fucking go broke at the bottom. And it's going to get really ugly. And then 6 or 8 months from now, it's going to be fine. Like the sandwich shop that used to be on the corner run by Jimmy, now Joe's going to be running it because Jimmy went bankrupt and Joe just stepped in and took his, like, running the exact same business. Which is unfortunate. I think a lot of businesses that were doing fine, that have been around for years, are not going to weather this unless everybody gets a bailout in a big way. Because giving $1,000 to every American doesn't help someone who lives in San Francisco and has rent that's $2,500 a month. Or giving just money to people doesn't help bail out businesses. I mean, shit, like, what's office space cost? Or just like a sandwich, the rent on a sandwich shop alone has got to be $3,000 a month in San Francisco, which means that, like, that person's just out of business. They're in the, even if you gave them $4,500 for the year, like, that barely covers a month of rent for them. So I think the reality is they're going to have to stimulate the bottom of the economy, and they can do it in a really smart, equal way. But I don't think it's going to happen. But I think they should. Anyway, this is the first video I've ever put out. If you like it, you want to hear more of what I think about this, you know, I think I'm supposed to ask you to like and subscribe. I don't put ads on my channel. I'm never going to. I think it's fucking shady. Like, I'm not trying to make money off of this. I'm just trying to maybe get a conversation started about how we can weather this in a smart way. But you're going to be okay. We're all going to be okay. In the end, we'll all survive. Most of us. And stay healthy, and I love you, and you'll be fine.